The W, the O, the R, the K. The W, the O, the R, the K. Look yourself in the face. Look yourself in the mirror, ask yourself, are you giving 120% every day? Every play? Give me 120 or don't give me nothing at all. The guy you competing against, you haven't outworked him. You've not outworked the person next to you. You've not out-hustled them. You've not out-grind them. You've not outdone them. You're not locked in. Bring all your passion. Bring heart. Every single game, every single play. Put forth 120% or don't ask nobody to do nothing good. The W, the O, the R, the K. The W, the O.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We are up. We're at it. We're doing our thing this morning. It is a beautiful Friday morning. Getting ready to head into the weekend. Getting ready to go ahead and wrap this day up. Get this day started, then wrap it up, then head into the weekend, baby. Because, that's what we do. We live for the weekends, baby. A lot of good news. A lot of news to get into today. Some good, some bad. But we're going to get into it all. How about Bitcoin, baby? Bitcoin moving, baby. New all-time highs. Twice in one day. Come on, baby. Bitcoin's moving. The whole cryptocurrency market is moving in the right direction. As you see the United States dollar start to take a dip to the downside, you see crypto start to raise to the upside. This is kind of what we kind of expected as that dollar starts to weaken and shrink. Crypto starts to move a little bit, right? And this is kind of what we've been talking about on this channel with this dollar and inflation and everything else starting to shrink. Is crypto a hedge against inflation? Well, guess what? We're gonna find out now. It is what it is. We're in a great spot. We're in a great spot in the market right now. Stock market's doing okay. It's just doing okay. It's just hanging in there. But the crypto market is absolutely booming right now. So, let's go ahead. Let's see who's up in here, and then we'll get right into it. We'll get into some news. Glenn, Grand Rising, brother. Grand Rising, Glenn. How are you? Junior, what is going on? My dog, what's up? Selmo's in the building. What's up? Good morning, man. TGIF. Man, Heat's in the building. Pump it up, baby. Heat, pump it up, baby. Yo, Heat, we in here, baby. We finally starting to turn this corner, I think, man. Finally starting to turn this corner. So yeah, we up in here, man. Junior saying hi to everybody. My man Elmo is in the building this morning. Elmo, the pie lover. The pie lover. Elmo loves his pie, baby. And his link. Elmo loves it all. Going on. I'm going down through the chat right here. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. Make sure I didn't miss anybody up in here. Say hi to everybody this morning. Yeah, we're about to get into some of that protocol, man. We're about to get into some of that protocol. Elmo, man, stop being a hater, man. Quit fudding, man. We don't, quit fudding, man. Quit fudding, man. Quit fudding, dog. We don't do that. We don't fud around here. But yeah, we're going to go ahead. We're going to get up into this thing right now. Get into this market. Elmo's fudding today. He's in his fudding mood today. Grand rising to you, Elmo. Fudding. But yo, we good. Asian markets, they traded pretty good, man. They traded pretty good. They looking good. European markets, I don't know where my man Ken is, but the European markets, they look halfway decent this morning. They woke up, they started trade. They look okay. They just look okay. They ain't really moving. Pre-markets here in the United States look like absolute absolute trash. They're all in red. Kind of expected this thing. There's Ken. There's Ken. What's up, man? Why you tanking the markets over there, man? Come on, we want all green, baby. Quit taking the profits out of the market, man. Quit selling everything, Ken. Quit selling everything over there in the European markets, man. Come on. But yo, the United States markets look like trash. That means Selmo and Elmo are over there dumping all their stocks, man, in the market, man. Selmo and Elmo is trading everything, man. They're selling it all, baby. Quit swiping left, baby. Quit swiping left. So they got it all trading, but it is what it is. You see this right here. This is why people are dumping their bonds, they're dumping their yields, they're dumping their debt. They're dumping their debt in the market, man. This is what's going on. It is what it is. I don't blame them. The United States, they had the big, beautiful bill that came through the House, sitting at the Senate. I'm going to add about, they're estimating about $3 to $4 trillion to the deficit over the course of the next 5 to 7 years. So you know what? People are dumping their debt, man, and I don't blame them. People are sick and tired of sitting on these trillions and trillions of dollars of debt. And you know what? It is what it is. But the stablecoin, the Genius Act, the Stablecoin Act, looks like it came through the House. Looks like it's going to be in the Senate. Looks like that thing's going to be moving along, and we got to get into some of that. We're going to get into some SUI news here. I think there's a great opportunity here with SUI and some of the projects that sit on that blockchain over there, given some bad news that they had going on, and we'll get into that. Actually, let's look at it right now. Let's just go ahead and take care of this. Take care of this news right now. So you had the SUI-based liquidity provider. Understand that there was a hack that happened yesterday on the SUI network. It wasn't SUI that got hacked. It was its liquidity provider that got hacked, right? For $223 million, right? So this is, Ethereum went through this when it first, early on in its early days, where its liquidity provider got hacked, and people, they got the tokens and they sold off all the tokens. They went ahead and hacked the liquidity provider. Think of the liquidity provider kind of like Uniswap, right? People go on there, they load their liquidity on there, and that's what allows for trading and all that good stuff on that particular platform, right? So we had this hack happened on the biggest SUI, the biggest SUI liquidity provider out there, right? Which dumped basically the whole ecosystem. And this hack was a big one, right? Was a big hack, and you see tokens like Lofi and Walrus and all the rest of these tokens that sit on the SUI blockchain really took a big step back yesterday because of this. But when you get over here and we actually look at where SUI sits right now, SUI has kind of been able to withstand this, right? It's still sitting at $3.85. So it kind of has been able to withstand this downward pressure, right? When this thing happened, SUI was sitting right around $4.15, $4.20. So it didn't take a huge step back. Obviously, it took a step back, 2.8% step backwards, but it was able to kind of withstand this for a little bit. But what an opportunity, right? Because here's what I say: nothing has changed with these particular projects, right? That got popped yesterday, right? We'll come over here. We'll look at a project that I think has a big upside on the SUI network in Walrus. Maybe it's over here. Where'd it go? Well, anyways, Walrus, we'll find it here in a minute. Walrus was sitting right around 70 cents not too long ago, right? And when we look at Walrus, where it is now, it's right around that 50-cent mark, right? So it's probably going to end up recovering at some point, right? So what I did is I went in and bought me some more Walrus. Lofi the number one meme coin on the Sui network took a monster hit yesterday. Um, Monster hit yesterday, and because of this, I didn't go in and buy any Lofi, but if you buy Lofi, the number one meme coin on the Sui network, it's a great buy right now. Like, I mean, just because of the hit that it took, it's gonna come back. These liquidity providers, they get popped from time to time. They get popped. Uh, the super cycle. I believe that we're in the super cycle. Somewhat. I think that we're in a super cycle. I think, I mean, we've been over this before, like how I think that this thing is going to go. I think you're going to see, I think you're going to see Bitcoin pop, which you're seeing right now. You're seeing Bitcoin just pop, and then you're going to see the top. Then you're going to see the ISO tokens pop. You're going to see the ISO 2022 tokens pop off. And then you'll see the altcoins really, really make their run. The other altcoins really, really make their run. And then you'll see a short meme coin season. And I say it's going to be a short meme coin season. This super cycle is going to be very much different than any other, bull cycle that we're in. I think your meme coins will have their day, but I think they're going to be a shorter lived meme cycle than we're used to. Just because I think that you're going to see Bitcoin pop off, then you'll see the ISO tokens pop off, and then you'll see your altcoins pop off, and then you'll see your meme coins pop off, right? And so I think that this super cycle is going to be a little bit different. This super cycle that we're in right now, that's getting ready to start at some point. Let's just say that it started, but we're just like warming up at the starting gate, right? It's going to be driven by big, huge institutional money. It's going to be driven by your ETFs and things like that. So I think that's kind of the cycle that we're in, and that's a cycle that we got to get used to. The stablecoin bill that we talked about, we've been talking about being so big here in the United States. Here is what is really going on behind the scenes, and we kind of predicted this and talked about this for a while. But you have some of the biggest banks in JP Morgan, Citi, and Wells Fargo talking about coming together to release a stablecoin, right? And if this happens, if these banks come together and release a stablecoin into the market, this, make no doubt, I'm making the prediction right now, that stablecoin will sit within the top 10 of market cap here. That stablecoin will sit within the top 10 of this cryptocurrency market. Why? Because they are going to push their stablecoin to complete all transactions in their banks. They're going to utilize their stablecoin for everything that they do. Why would they release it and not use it? Doesn't make sense. But you have JP Morgan, Citigroup, and Wells Fargo talking about maybe collaborating on a stablecoin. If this happens, best believe that this will probably be the number one stable. This will probably be maybe the number one or number two stable coin on the market. These guys just have way too much money. They do way too many transactions. And if they come together and do this and integrate this into everything that they do, this thing's going to see massive, massive, massive volume. Volume unlike we've seen any other stable coin have. You're a millionaire, not physically. You're a millionaire in your mind. Just make sure that when you see that million in your wallet, that you go ahead and make sure that you put that in your bank account. Jupiter's moving. Yeah, Jupe's going back up. Jupe's going to be at $1 here pretty soon. Thanks for explaining that. No problem, Heat. But yeah, it's not the Sui blockchain that got hacked. Everybody's under the impression, oh my God, Sui got hacked. It's the the blockchain itself is dead. It got hacked. It didn't get hacked. The liquidity provider got hacked. It's kind of like, think about Uniswap getting hacked, right? Is that a knock on Ethereum? You know what I mean? No, that's the liquidity provider, right? So people got to understand that, and that's kind of where people fall off the wagon. They don't understand that. I still don't trust Sol. Sol and Sui. I'm starting to trust Sol more and more and more. I trust Sui. I I I think that their liquidity providers probably need to get a little bit better, but I actually like the Deep. It's called Deep. The exchange on Xui called Deep. I think it's a little bit more secure. In that order, yeah, I think we're gonna run in that order. I think that's how we're gonna see this super cycle go. In that order, Junior. I think we're gonna see you're seeing Bitcoin. Bitcoin's actually into discovery right now, right? Because it hit its all time high. It hit its all time high, and then now it's in price discovery, right? And we're gonna see where it's gonna go. And we're gonna see what's up. Glenn wants to know what's up with everybody. That's a bad Trump. Does a bad Trump story. BCC does a bad Trump story. Yo, that Trump event that happened yesterday. People were pissed off about that, man. And some whales were dumping. I guess he flew in by the helicopter and came in, said a couple things and was gone. But some people were paying millions and millions of dollars to get into that event. And he dropped by for a second, man, and then he was up out of there. So we shall see. We shall see. They weren't happy. I can tell you that. From all the news articles that I read, they weren't happy. If you're not buying BTC at its all-time high, you're leaving money on the table. I buy BTC every day. I look at the price of BTC when I wake up in the morning. I look at the range that it's trading in, and I buy a little bit of BTC at the lower range that it's trading in for the day. I add a little bit to my bag every single day, and then I have a pool set up, a liquidity pool that every time I buy it, I just throw it into the liquidity pool, and I look at that as nothing for this bull run. It's just something that you stack away. More for a I don't know, long-term savings account, I guess you would say. I don't know, but I buy a little bit every day. But I'm not looking to sell it this bull market anyways. I'm just looking to it's in a liquidity pool, so I'm just looking to add to my BTC. I'm looking to gain more and more BTC as every day moves on. Yeah, but I buy a little bit every day. It's just one of them things where, like I told you, like the majority, a lot of my portfolio is wrapped up in BTC, just because that's the asset that is really going to move. Like I mean, when you look at it for not this bull cycle, but when you look at it for like 10, 15 years from now, BTC, nobody's going to take over BTC as being the number one cryptocurrency. Like, they're just not going to catch them. Just not going to happen. And I don't usually step out on a limb and say this can't happen, because this is crypto and anything can happen in crypto. But what I will say is I don't think that anybody can catch BTC when it comes to market cap. And as that supply shrinks, you're gonna see more and more of a demand for BTC, and we can look at that right now. The exchanges themselves are already having a problem with BTC in the ETFs. There's just not enough BTC sitting on the exchanges right now to cover a lot of these ETFs plus the retail investor trading. So, they're already having a little bit of an issue. We got the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index sitting at 76 over here in crypto. Definitely in greed. Definitely BTC is definitely moving. Anybody who's not sleeping under a rock knows that. The altcoin season sitting at 28 right now, 28 out of 100. We're back in altcoin season. But like I'll say to you guys the same thing that I said to you before. Be careful because we're just tipping in the altcoin season right now, right? We're just tipping. We're just right there. And, we'll see. We got to take some of this BTC dominance away in order for this to in order for us to really, really see an altcoin season. We got to see this dominance coming down. That is the goal, Elmo, and we talked about that before. The goal is to make money during your altcoin seasons, really make a lot of money during your altcoin seasons, and put a lot of that money to work in BTC, and secure that investment, right? Secure that investment, and that's kind of what you're doing. That's kind of what we're doing. That's kind of where we're going. What's up, Cheese? Good morning, brother. Good morning, Cheese. What's up? But yeah, I mean that is the goal. The goal is to wait the ISO season out, you make your profits. Wait the altcoin season out, make your profits. Wait the meme coin season out, make your profits, and then move a lot of that to BTC into your bank account. You know what I mean? I mean, take a little bit of, you got to take profits for lifestyle, right? Like, look, if you're not putting money in your bank account, then what are you really doing, right? What are you really doing, right? It's all about taking profits and improving your life. And yeah, you want to put some money in BTC, but you got to improve your lifestyle as well. And that's what you take the profits for. So don't dump it all in the BTC. Make sure if you got a chance to, I said this and I've been saying this from the beginning, right? If you're sitting on enough money to change your life from crypto, cash it out and go change your life, right? You know what I mean? Go change your life. Crypto will be here tomorrow, but if you have enough in your bag to change your life, go change your life. And don't even think twice about it. You got the cryptocurrency market cap sitting at $3.2 trillion, $3.52 trillion right now. It's moving up. We're moving on up like the Jeffersons. Moving on up, baby. So yeah, sitting at 3.52 trillion. And I get to sing to you guys this morning. Oh, we are on a roll this morning. I tell you, I get to sing to you everything, right? But look at what the hell is happening. And this is what I'm telling you guys right now. This you can see it. This cycle is going to be different than the rest of the cycles. The cycle is going to be ETF driven cycle, an ETF driven cycle. So the projects that get ETFs and the ETFs that really take off on the stock market are really going to drive a lot of price. Yo, the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs put over $1 billion into the market yesterday of positive price action. Yeah, you see them right here. Or you see it right here. To combine 100,000 million billion. There you go. $1.045 billion into the market yesterday. So why don't you think about that for a minute? So when you look at Bitcoin and setting new all-time highs twice yesterday, was it from the DeFi side? No, don't think so. It was literally these ETFs that were pushing BTC up in that price action up, put over $1 billion of trading action in the market yesterday between Bitcoin and Ethereum. You're going to see XRP up here at some point over the summer, right? Whether it's June, whether it's July, that's yet to be seen. You'll see XRP ETF sitting over here in this mix, and hopefully it gains ground like the BTC ETF gained ground. But Look at this. That's just crazy money. You can't even think about that money. You can't even fathom that money, right? You can't even like look at it and go, yo, I know what $1 billion of trading volume even feels like or looks like or even smells like. But these are two ETFs that crushed the market yesterday. Bitcoin itself put through 934.8, call it $935 million of trading volume yesterday. $935 million of trading volume yesterday. Think about that for a minute. Just think about one ETF putting through the market 930 something million dollars of trading volume, and Ethereum came up with like 10 or something like that. So when you look at it, BTC is killing the ETF market, pushing the price. So when people say, oh yeah, it's going to be, these altcoins are going to pump, these altcoins are going to go to the moon. The altcoins that are going to pump are going to be the altcoins that are going to pump in this first cycle are going to be the ones that launch these ETFs. And not only do they launch the ETFs, but the ETFs catch on, right? Because you look at Ethereum's, it's adding to this ETF market cap, but it's really not pushing that ETF market cap like Bitcoin is pushing this ETF market cap. What's up, Ladybug? Good morning, good morning, good morning. But I want you guys just to sit back and think about what happened yesterday in BTC setting two all-time highs. Why did it set the two all-time highs yesterday? $1 billion of ETF positive movement, positive inflows, right? So crazy money sitting over here in these ETFs. You just can't even think about that, right? Just think about $1 billion going through. That's money that you can't even wrap your head around that. So where are we headed today? Who knows? Could be another $1 billion. You get another $1 billion of positive inflows into these ETFs today. Yo, you already seen what that's going to do to the market. You already seen what that's going to do to Bitcoin. Put another $1 billion on top of that today and watch where Bitcoin goes. But Bitcoin's definitely in price discovery right now. We'll see. We'll see where it heads. We'll see where it goes. Remember, it is Friday, and there usually is always a downturn in Friday trading, Friday afternoon. So don't forget that piece of it, right? But you guys, this is what we're talking about. This is why big institutions are coming in and taking over crypto right here. And this is how they're doing it, right? This is how they're doing it. They're not doing it on Uniswap, y'all. They ain't doing it on Uniswap. They're doing it right here. So, don't be fooled. Don't get blinded by that, right? Don't get blinded by, people, Bitcoin's moving and, that means that people are, buying here, buying on, Bitcoin on BSC wrapped Bitcoin or base wrapped Bitcoin. Yeah, we are, but the majority of money is not flowing there. You got Bitcoin dominant sitting at 62.7%, Ethereum dominant sitting at 9.2%. So we're starting to see this Bitcoin dominance come down, and this is what we need to see. We need to see a little bit more of this. And people are under the impression that if Bitcoin dominance comes down, that means Bitcoin's price comes down. That's not true. That's just not true. The Bitcoin dominance can come down, and the rest of the altcoin market's dominance can go up. That just means that people are moving money around a little bit. But that doesn't necessarily mean that Bitcoin's price is going to come down either. Because you're going to see more people come into Bitcoin, which will keep the dominance up a little bit. But the people that have already been in Bitcoin for a while, you'll see them start to rotate their money. You'll see them start to rotate a little bit. The market itself, everything looks really, really solid right now, especially the fact that we're now tipping back into altcoin season, right? So let's get over here. Let's look at what's going on in this chains, because this is very interesting what's going on these blockchains right now. Because if you want to talk about altcoin season, you want to talk about meme coins, you want to talk about all that good stuff that goes with cryptocurrency trading, You got to know what's going on these blockchains. You got to know where the volume is. You got to know where the money is. You got to know all that, because if you're trading on a blockchain and there's no money really being traded on it, guess what? Your project's really not going anywhere. You're just kind of stuck. But BSC is killing it right now. BNB, BSC, killing it right now. Sitting at $11.8 billion of 24-hour trading volume. Think about that. Just when we were on here on Wednesday, we were talking about BSC sitting at $6 billion of trading volume, right? They took that $6 billion of 24-hour trading volume and bumped it up to $11.8 billion of 24-hour trading volume. Not even close to where second place is. Solana's in second place, sitting at $3.6 billion in 24-hour trading volume. Nothing to sneeze at. Nothing to laugh at. That right there is an increase in Solana's trading volume. But man, BSC is absolutely smoking it this week when it comes to 24-hour trading volume, which means what? Why do we care about that? Why do we look at that? Because that means that the projects on BSC are moving. Them projects are moving, right? More than the projects that are going to move on Solana, because there's just more money flowing through that blockchain. And then you got Ethereum sitting at 3.1 billion. Again, nothing to sneeze at, nothing to be ashamed of there. And you got Sui sitting at 2.9 billion. And we always talk about trading volume, right? And not all volume is good volume, right? So you've seen the Sui hack. We talked about the liquidity provider for one of Sui getting hacked, right? So this is where a lot of that volume's coming from, right? It's that person, it's that hack, it's that hacker that hacked them liquidity pools, selling off on all of them tokens, right? So a lot of this volume increase for Sui has come through because of that, right? So, not all volume is good volume, but it is what it is. And Sui has actually, done a whole hell of a lot better than what I thought when it comes to holding its price down based upon the news, which just shows you the strength of Sui, right? It shows you that there's big institutional investors in Sui. They believe in the blockchain. They're going to stay there. They're not shaken by the situation, and they're going to stay there. And so that's a positive sign. And then you got Base coming in at $1.3 billion in 24-hour trading volume, which is good for Base. Anytime Base can maintain above $1 billion, usually your meme coins will move a little bit on Base, just because it's a smaller layer 2. There's not a crap ton of people over there like there is on Ethereum and BSC. So if you can get above $1 billion, your meme coins are usually going to move, and your lower market caps will move too. And you got this little token right here, Arbitrum, that we've been talking about for a long time, sitting at just over $1 billion. So definitely volume is starting to kick up on these chains as well. And this is kind of what we like, right? This is what we want to see, because that, volume equals price, or price action, right? Get over here. We'll look at some of these projects here, but keep in mind, guys, this is a big one, and pay attention to this. Going back to the news, I really want you guys to pay attention to this, because this is really important for what people are trying to do out here in the crypto space. Is you got, JP Morgan, Citibank, and Wells Fargo coming together. If they come together and they start this stablecoin, it's going to change the whole landscape of stablecoins, right? It's going to change that whole landscape. So pay attention to that. Understand what's going on in the bigger picture before you jump off the ledge and think, well, this stablecoin is going to do this and this stablecoin is going to do that. The stablecoin bill itself is going to lend itself to more and more of these banks and institutions starting their own stablecoins, which is going to do what? It's going to cut into the percentage of the stable. It's going to cut into the percent of the stable coins that are out there right now. It's going to take some of their volume. It's going to take some of their liquidity away. Is what's going to happen, and that's what you got to pay attention to, right? Like, if they launch that stable coin, how much market cap does it take away from USDT? How much market cap does it take away from USDC? How much does it take away from RLUSD? all that stuff. So that's a big deal. Uh, what the whale say when he ate when he ate the walrus? What he say? What he say? What he say? What he say? I gotta hear this, man. Uh, literally. Oh man, someone's on it this Friday, man. It is a good Friday today, man. I'm telling you, man. It is a good Friday. We're gonna have a great day, man. I'm telling you. Man, so someone got me laughing, man. Always got me laughing. Let's look at some of this price action though. Where we got BTC sitting at right now, 110, starting to come down this morning. See, 110, 110.8, right? 110,000, 110,800. Starting to come down just a little bit this morning. Ethereum sitting at 2,600. You know, that's good for Ethereum. And we can I'll show you kind of where Ethereum's struggle is right now. Ethereum's got a struggle, much like a bunch of these other tokens got a struggle. And you guys know how I am about my EMAs, right? And moving averages, and because they're important, right? So you got the 200-day moving average sitting right here. Ethereum has just busted above that today, which is absolutely a good sign for Ethereum. You can see that it struggled for a good week trying to bust through this 200-day moving average, right? It finally came just above it today. You look at the RSI right here, it's Ethereum was kind of oversold. It's starting to turn the corner, which is a positive for Ethereum, right? It's starting to turn that corner, starting to move back to the upside, right? So, but it's finally getting above this 200-day moving average. A lot of people trade off this 200-day moving average, right? They'll run a token up to the 200-day moving average, and then they'll sell off on it. And then they'll run it back up, and they'll wait for it to retest that 200-day moving average, and they'll go back in and rinse and repeat, right? That's what they'll do with that 200-day moving average. It's much like Pepe. We talked about Pepe. And here's the 200-day moving average. We talked about Pepe trading above that 200-day moving average, but you can see it tested, got rejected off that 200-day time and time again. That 200-day moving average was sitting around 40135, right? And then it finally busted above it, right? And now it's starting to move. So I fully expect Ethereum's chart to kind of look like this here within the next couple of days, just because it's starting to bust above that 200-day moving average, much like Pepe did. And now you see Pepe starting to make that run and go, above that 200-day movement, day. You start to see the RSI start to come back from oversold, starting to make that turn to the upside. So, you see this 200-day. That's just how important it is. We can look at Bitcoin, but Bitcoin, is well above all of its moving averages and up here into price discovery, and we'll see where it goes, and we'll see what kind of day it has today. I'm telling you, Friday afternoons are very, very tough for the stock market and cryptocurrency. It's tough, man. It's there's that sell-off that happens Friday afternoon. So we'll see how big, if we even get that today, right? But we got the total market cap, the total 3 sitting over here minus Bitcoin and Ethereum, sitting up here at $928 billion. I'm a big fan of that $1.01 trillion mark. Definitely getting ready to come up here and probably try to test that today. I'm hoping that we can test that today. As you see the momentum from the RSI starting to swing up, they're above their moving averages. Altcoin season is back. People are starting to flow money into altcoins. So I'm definitely a big fan of this trying to touch $1 billion at some point this weekend. 1.01 billion is where we've seen the best price action on our altcoin so far. So let's see if we can get back there. We got Airdrome. And here's what I'm talking about right here. You have Airdrome sitting at 68 cents right now. Look at where its 200-day moving averages is sitting all the way up here at $1, right? So Airdrome has got a lot of room to move and to come up here and try to test this 200-day. So Airdrome's got a lot of room to move to do that. Right now, it's struggling to get past the 100-day moving average. Right, it's testing it. It's getting rejected. It's finally starting to bust above it a little bit today. We'll see if that can keep moving to the upside. But if it does get above the 100-day, then definitely the 200 days on the table. Chainlink was in the same situation as we look at it. You look at the 200-day sitting right here. It finally busted above it yesterday, and we'll see where it goes. That's sitting at $16 right now. $17 just flipped to $17. Busted above the 200-day. Now it's starting to definitely move to the upside. So we love where Chainlink is sitting at right now. But here's the one. We talked about this project right here, SPX 6900. We've been talking about SPX 6900 since, I don't know, 45 cents or so. Here it is, sitting at 94 cents. Killing it. Here's your two. It's running the same as Pepe, right? It got rejected off of these levels right here, the 200-day, busted above at the same time as Pepe, and boom, just started to take off. And it's sitting at 94 cents right now. So I don't know if you would have got in when we got in, and we were starting to talk about it right around 45 cents or so, then you're probably doing okay. You're probably just doing okay, and getting ready to look at some profits, right? Then we got Ondo sitting over here, busted above the dollar mark. Love Ondo. This I think that this is me personally, not financial advice, can't tell you anything, but I think that Ondo's got a 10x written all over it from where it is right now. And you can start to see from the RSI starting to move to the upside as well. Ondo's going to have this 200-day sitting here at right around $1.13. It's going to run into some resistance right here. There's just no doubt about it. You can see every time it touched it, it got rejected off the 200-day. It just got beat down off the 200-day right around $1.13. So we will definitely see if we can work our way back up there and flip that resistance into support and wait for Ondo to move. Where do you get it at? Where do you get SPX 6900 at, Ladybug? It's nice because it's cross-chained, right? So you can buy it on Ethereum and you can buy it on Base, right? I hold mine on Base just because the trading fees are cheaper. But yeah, you can go right there and punch it right into the Base Uniswap and buy it on Base, and you can you're good. You're good. I traded over there because the prices are pegged. They're pegged together, so you get that lower trading fee. You can buy it on Solana, I think, too. Yo, have a good one, Junior. TGIF. But I hold mine on Base just because trading fees are so cheap. I'd much rather, I try to hold as little as I can on Ethereum mainnet, because we all know what's going to happen with Ethereum mainnet, right? Once this bull run starts to happen, fees start to go up, and the next thing you know, your gas fees are just out of control, and that's not what we want. You heard AVAX is doing what? Yeah, AVAX is partnering with FIFA. It was I forget what it was. Elgaran who had FIFA, and FIFA was unhappy with Elgaran's lack of development and the slow movement of Elgaran's blockchain. So they're moving it over to AVAX. They're moving it over to AVAX, which is a smart move. It's definitely a smart move for FIFA, because Elgaran has been a really, really slow mover, and they really haven't rolled out a lot of upgrades and really pushed their blockchain in the right direction, for a long time, right? So FIFA moving over to AVAX is very smart, because I'm a big AVAX supporter. I love AVAX. I think AVAX is going to be the number one gaming blockchain out there this bull run. I think that AVAX has the when it comes to gaming, they're blowing everybody away right now with the games that they're putting out. And I think gaming is going to be somewhat of a good play here going into this super cycle. So I'm a big supporter of the AVAX system when it comes to that. So FIFA making that move over to AVAX was really, really smart for them because, you know, Elgaran just wasn't doing what it needed to do. But yo, we talked about ASI FET. Man, we've been talking about this one since like 40 something cents, sitting at 95 cents right now. I you know, kept trying to say it, right? Like this AI collaboration, you know, it's not going away. Like this is going to be a big deal. And when you have all of these projects collaborating together under this ASI FET narrative, and you look at it, and it did $2.52 in the bear market. You know, we pulled this chart back a year ago. It did $252 in a bear market, when it was sitting at 45 cents. You knew where it was headed. You just needed to wait. But you knew where it was headed. You just needed to be patient. And that's the one thing I'll preach about this market that we're in right now is patience. Just be patient. This market's going to go up. This market's going to go down. We did get into VV. We'll talk about VV bot here in a minute. We did get into VV. I like where VV's going. I like what they're doing. You know, obviously, you know, there's some things that we'll talk about on VV and their chart. But I did get into the VV bot, and you know, I've been presently surprised with VV up to this point and how it's been able to hold its chart. With XRP in Cuba. XRP has a deep connection with a lot of other countries. I think XRP, it's what amazes me about XRP right now is it's just sitting here stable at $2.40, right? So why didn't it run? You know, why didn't it run with everybody else? Well, there's an explanation for that. It's already it had a good push up, but XRP needs to get to that $2.50 mark, and it needs to stay there. It needs to start pegging itself there. It needs to get there. It needs to start staying there in order for it to make that next positive move up. But the one thing about XRP, you know, it had a good run up to $3 already, over $3 in this bear market. So, you know, when we look at the run that a lot of these guys are on, they're just coming back up to where they were previously in this bear market. So XRP is due for a run. It's due for a good run. It's due for a good push to the upside here. But again, XRP is going to need what Bitcoin has, right? XRP is going to need these spot ETFs to come out, and they're going to need them to really start to move the XRP price, because with a market cap the size of XRP's, it takes a lot of money to move that market cap, right? It takes a lot of capital, a lot of cash flow. Retail investors will not move the XRP market cap. It just will not happen. The market cap's too big. So you need institutional investors to come in and really move this market cap like Bitcoin has, right? And Ethereum to some extent, right? I mean, its ETFs aren't performing as well as they used to, or will, or I think that their ETFs will perform a lot better. Your Bitcoin ETFs are getting way too expensive. Like I'm a 3x on when I bought my, you know, Bitcoin ETF. I probably shouldn't say that on stream, but you know, whatever. I bought it at the IPO level, you know, so you know when they first launched, you know, so there's a major upside to the Bitcoin ETFs right now, and they're getting expensive, right? So people will start to transfer that money into the Ethereum ETFs, and hopefully when XRP ETFs are launched, you'll see a bunch of people jump into them. Excuse me, because they're going to need that money. They need institutional money. Retailers are not going to move this. Are not going to move this market cap. Market cap's too big. Institutions have to move it. And that's why these ETFs and everything else are so important for them. Believe you me, you're not gonna go drop $5,000 in an XRP in an XRP and watch the market cap move. It's just not. Yeah. And if you were under the belief that your $5,000 buy on XRP move the price at all, you were fooling yourself and everybody else around you. It's just not enough. It's just not enough money. You know. So with that, where are we at? Where are we at on time here? Okay, we can get in. We got about 10 minutes. Talking to myself over here. Let's look at some of these. You know, we don't do this every day, but we're gonna look at some of these. VVBot. Sitting at 2059, right about 610.5 million dollar market cap right now. We talked about this one on Wednesday. I think it was like right there, right around the same area it is right now. So it's been pretty stable since then. You know, I like the VVBot because it brings something different to the stage, right? It brings the ability to trade crypto just through a Telegram handle, right? And that's what I like about it. I think that it's a mover. It's a mover and a shaker, and a lot of people are using it inside their Telegram groups, and they're moving crypto through it using people's Telegram handles, right? So I can say at Ken and send him however many tokens I want to. Of whatever project I want to. Like, so I like it. I like it. It's something different. We'll see where it goes though. It's got that we got to see a bigger push up on the price in VVBot, but it does have 219.5K holders, so not too bad. I mean, that's a lot of holders, right? 24-hour volume sitting at 60.4K. It's a lot of volume too. So it's doing what it needs to do as far as volume and holder count really starting to increase. But that price, you need to push up on that price too. VV's got to push the price up a little bit. We got to bust above the 600K level and start to set a new floor 700K and better. Like 0.500 milliwatt. Yeah, that's pretty much what it's like, man. Okay, like I mean, you might create a ripple, right? A ripple effect. That's about it. Why would you buy Bitcoin with the ETF? I bought it because you can make money. Period. You know what I mean? I knew that price was going up. I own Bitcoin on a DeFi level, so me buying the ETF was no more than me just making money. You got to know where the money's made. You don't leave money sitting on the table. If you can buy it when it launches and you know that it's going up, then you make the money. You make the money. It's a money. We're here to make money. Yeah, it is. I'm not gonna disagree with you on that one, Selma. I'm not gonna disagree with you on that one. I'll say it and then I'll get a strike, right? And then I'll get a strike. So I'm not gonna disagree with you. It's moving on schedule. It's moving on schedule. That's all I can say. Marbit's not doing too bad. 274. Oh boy, trying to recover from this big huge sell off, this big huge dump right here that it had. It had a nasty dump, but you know what? I believe in 2Bit. I think 2Bit's gonna do his thing, and just sit back and do nothing. It's kind of one of the ones you sit back and do nothing. and just let 2-bit do what he does, right? And it'll moon or it won't, right? But look at BRL is doing pretty good, $3.11 right now, not doing too bad, holding its chart, right? It's holding its chart, and that's what you want to see right now. It's holding its chart, especially when it has a big run up like this, and if it can hold that run up, it's definitely not doing too bad. Um, so I like where it is. Stealth AI. This is that AI project on BSC that I like. Definitely had a sell off here, so we'll see if these guys can recover their chart. I still like I said, a lot's going on over here. They got a lot of utilities, a lot's going on over here, but the whole key is can you get it out there and can you sell it, right? Can you get it out there and can you sell it? If you can't get it out there and you can't sell it, then your technology is going to sit there, right? And it's going to sit there. It's just going to do what it's going to do, and you are what you are. Did I miss the Sui conversation? Yeah, you might have. Here's I'll recap it for you real quick. Ladybug. Sui, the liquidity provider, had a hack, right? One of their biggest liquidity provider had a hack. They went in and they grabbed over $223 million worth of cryptocurrency from Sui, from the liquidity pools, and whether it be Lofi or Walrus or Deep or a bunch of these other projects that sat on top of Sui, right? Sui itself didn't have the hack. This was the liquidity provider. Think of it kind of like Uniswap, right? Like if Uniswap was to get hacked, right? So the liquidity provider, when it got hacked, and they sold off on like $223 million worth of projects, right? Worth of tokens, which is why you see a lot of the Sui projects themselves really started to take a big pullback, like Lofi and Walrus and all them guys. They didn't have good days yesterday. Their price really got beat up, right? Not because of anything that was fundamentally wrong with their projects, just because this hack happened, right? And you see Sui kind of suffered the price, right? It came down about 9%, sitting at $3.67, coming down just a little bit more today than it did yesterday. But I'm actually surprised, and I'm actually surprised that it was able to hold the price levels that it has been holding right here above $3, given this news, right? Given this news, and so I'm actually okay with it. I actually went in and bought more. I bought Walrus yesterday just because it was down to like 50 cents, and like I said, nothing fundamentally changed with the project. Just the fact that the protocol got hacked, right? So I think Walrus and even Lofi to some extent should be able to recover from this. I may go in and buy some more Sui if it continues to drop. I do believe that the institutional investors that are in this particular blockchain, will hold the floor here, wherever that floor is, and then you'll see the pump up come. People are under the impression that Sui itself was hacked, and Sui wasn't hacked. It was the protocol that holds the liquidity that was hacked. So it wasn't the blockchain, but the projects on that blockchain definitely started to take a step back, and they started to, but it wasn't from anything that they did. It wasn't a project problem. It wasn't a project problem, and that's where people start to get a little messed up. Like right here, you see Walrus. It's down 12% right now. Like sitting at 56%. It's down 12%. Dropped out of the top 100. You see Deep down 10.1%. Down to 18 cents. I'll probably buy some more Deep, and I'll probably buy some more Walrus as these prices start to come down. I think they will recover. And sometimes you get these opportunities where things happen, and it's not the project's fault, and you get a chance to capitalize off of that. And I think that's kind of the situation that the Sui blockchain's in right now, is you get a chance to capitalize off of some of these projects that are sitting over there. Lofi will recover as well. I believe that they'll recover, but they got popped yesterday. It was bad. That chart looked like a rug. was a backdoor in an app, a hack, call it what you want, one or the other. They got their liquidity got drained. I mean, we can sit here and bog down on the technicalities of all that, like whether it was a hack, whether it was a backdoor, whether it was an inside job, whether it was an outside job. At the end of the day, does it really matter what the technicalities are, or does it matter that liquidity was drained out of there? You know, I mean, I mean, we can sit here and dictate, was it a back door, was it a front door, was it a side door, was it inside outside job? Like, does any of that even matter? It really was just it was a liquidity drain. Yeah, I mean, they stopped the wallet. You would hope that they stopped the wallet. You would hope that they would be smart enough to stop the wallet. You would hope. You would hope that that would be the case. You would hope that the developers of these blockchains and these protocols would be smart enough to track the wallet down and stop it. But it still doesn't. It still doesn't. It still doesn't negate the fact that before they stopped the wallet, they dumped a bunch of projects that were on the Sui chain. I mean, that's pretty obvious by price action. It doesn't take a genius to look at that chart and go, oh yeah, hey, this was this chart over here was this happened or that happened. I mean, you look at this chart right here, you think that the holders dumped this? You think the holders dumped that chart right there? No, that wasn't the holders that dumped that chart. That was the drain. So yeah, they stopped it. They just didn't stop it in time to stop the downturn for the projects. That's what I'm saying. A hack is a hack, lady. But people want to deal with the technicalities of wordy that they like. You said this word or that word. No, it wasn't a hack. It was a backdoor. A hack is a hack. If you drain liquidity, you drain liquidity. That's like saying, I didn't really rug a project because I didn't take out all of the liquidity. I left $1,000, so I didn't really rug a project. Yeah. It was the trap door. It was the back door. It was the back door. What's up, Big Watch dude? What's up, dog? What's up, dog? What's up? What's up? What's up? My dog right there. What's up, man? We're about to get off here in a minute. I gotta go to work. I gotta go to work. I gotta get to work. But yeah, we're about to get off here in a minute. But the market looks, I know the hour doesn't look that great right now. Actually, hour looks a little bit red right now, but it's Friday. You know what I mean? Expect that little pullback, on a Friday. Expect that little sell off. And when you have a nice run like you did yesterday, right? You got to expect some profit taking place, especially in these big projects. There's a lot of money floating around these big projects. You got to expect some profit taking. You see Bitcoin starting to come down to 109 right now, so it's definitely starting to pull back. Let's see where I think Bitcoin's going to go today. Let's go ahead. Let's pull it up. I think let's see. Oh boy, Bitcoin, you're pulling back. The whole market's crashing. Everything's going to crash. The market's terrible. It's all going to crash. It's all going to come tumbling down. You'll hear that all day long. 103.4 right there. 103. This thing could come down to like 104. Yeah, you see this. You see it started to build up right here around 104. You see the support over the days right around 104. This thing could try to back test 104. I don't think so though. I don't think it'll come down that far. You see the moving averages all starting to point to the upside. You see the RSA it's still on the upside on the day. Starting to curl off a little bit, but it's still on the upside. I don't think it'll come down to 104, but definitely has a possibility it's in that 104 today. yeah, I'm gonna be on Memorial Day. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be here, baby. I'm gonna be here Monday. I'm gonna be here on Monday. So I'm gonna be here, baby. I'm gonna be here for you. I'm gonna be here because of veterans like you. They give me the opportunity to be here, right? They give me the opportunity to be here and do what we do. And that's why I'm gonna be here because it's people like you that went out there and fought, did their thing. They give me the opportunity to sit here and talk trash in front of this camera and do what we do. So yes, I will definitely be here Monday morning. So yeah, so much respect to my man Elmo. I mean, much respect to my man Selmo. But all right, guys, we are out of here for the day. I gotta go to work. It's Friday, guys. You know the deal on Friday. You know what's up. We'll probably get a little bit of a pullback this afternoon. No worries. Don't worry. We are absolutely on the move. We're absolutely back in altcoin season. Respect the super cycle. Respect the super cycle, baby. Respect the super cycle. And yeah, Selmo, there's a lot of people that are still fighting and dying every day. So that's why we respect it and do what we do, right? But but enjoy the super cycle, guys. I mean, here we are, guys. Get ready for ISOs. But pay attention to the stable coins, guys. Pay attention. People don't think that it's a big deal. But these stablecoin providers could be sucking liquidity out of different stable coins right now, especially these banks, right? And they could really change the game if they start launching their own stable coins. They could change the game. They could change the whole dynamic of stable coins and everything else. So, pay attention, guys. It's coming. It's right here in front of our face. You can either embrace it and love it and have a good time with it, with this whole crypto market and stock market, or you can stress out about it. You can lose sleep about it. You can worry about Bitcoin pulling back, a couple K or whatever. And oh my God, the world's falling in, the whole market's pulling back. Well, if you look at it on if you just pull the chart back and look at 24 hours a week, we're really not pulling back. We're really not having a problem. But yeah, so all right, y'all, we up out of here. So you guys have a good one. Watch out. Be smart today, guys. Be smart. Make some money. Make some money today. Be smart. Like I said, the SUI protocol right now, the SUI blockchain right now, it's got some great bargains over there. If you believe it's going to bounce back, if you believe that these projects are going to come back, you got a tremendous opportunity, right? If you don't believe that these projects are going to come back, stay the hell away from them. Right. But there's opportunities out here all over this market. There's opportunities. Take advantage of the opportunities. Be patient. Wait it out. Be patient. Patience is key here, guys. We're in that patient stage. So with that, you guys have a phenomenal weekend. We'll be back at you guys on Monday. We'll be doing our thing. Let's hope for a good weekend. Let's hope for another ETF run when the United States markets open. Let's hope for another $1 billion day on the ETF market because, that's what's going to send this market to the stratosphere. So we're out of here. Peace.